Welcome to the Pastel Podcast, where we chat with pastel artists and take a dive into the vibrant world of pastel painting. Whether you're an experienced artist or just beginning, this podcast brings you inspiring stories and engaging discussions on the joy of painting with pastels. Thanks for tuning in and get ready to add more color into your world. Okay, welcome everybody. Our guest today is Pamela Comfort. Pam is not only a pastel artist, she's also the president of the Pastel Society of the West Coast. She didn't start painting until 2019 after she retired from a 30-year career in education, which is amazing. Pam initially volunteered for the Pastel Society of the West Coast to leverage her connection to school superintendents to help spread the word about the Society scholarship. And then her involvement grew from there. So I am very excited to welcome to the Pastel Podcast, Pam Comfort. Hi, Pam. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Pam. Welcome.
Hello.
Lisa, do you want to get things kicked off with our first question?
Sure. So, Pam, would you tell us a little bit about how you got your start in painting, in particular pastel painting?
Sure. Thanks for having me. Well, it started when I was actually putting away my supplies. After I had retired, I had all of these boxes from my office, and I came across a box of, it was actually oil pastels that I had used when I used to be leading groups for a leadership summit that I used to put on every year. And we used to do these charts to get groups in conversations. And I thought there must be some other use for these pastels now that I'm retired, what I'm going to do with them. So I just started playing around with them, and I went online because I'm an educator, right? A retired educator. So I'm used to going online to research things. And so I started looking at what kinds of things can you do with pastels. And I came across information about pastels, but what I found was information about dry pastels, and that dry pastels were the kind of pastels that most artists use. And I started learning about online workshops that were available. I started watching some of the videos that were available online. And next thing you know, I'm just like down the rabbit hole, learning about how to use dry or soft pastels. And it took off from there. Next thing you know, I'm buying the dry pastels. They're arriving in the mail one after another. I'm buying pastel papers. I am setting up easels, and boom, bada boom, there I am trying to, learn how to use pastels. I had just been, dabbling with all different kinds of arts and crafts for many, many years before that. But I'd never used soft pastels at all. But thank goodness for the internet, because then I just started headlong into it.
That is so fascinating. I love that. And I love the idea that you're like, oh, I have these things. What else can I do with them? That's so cool. I've actually been looking at oil pastels quite a bit lately because I'm very fascinated by what you can do with them. That's so cool. So you spent all of your time in education and then switched to, and this was just recently, 2019. That's amazing. I love that there's so many people who have kind of in the last few years, especially with COVID, really become artists in that time frame, because you have so much more time on your hands, especially now that you're retired. So you researched a lot and taken a lot of videos and all that kind of stuff. How did you come across the Pastel Society of the West Coast in all of that?
Right. Again, online. So just finding out about people that were involved in pastels, and then I come across the society online. I was on Facebook, so you try to find other people that are involved in things. And I honestly, I can't remember exactly, but somehow I found out about the society online, and they were looking for somebody to help with their scholarship program. They needed a scholarship chair. And because I knew every county superintendent in the state of California, I had recently retired as the deputy superintendent of schools for the county in Contra Costa. I thought, well, this is perfect because I have connections throughout the state. I had been involved in the arts initiative for all of the county offices and the state also. I thought, I know who to reach out to in all of these county offices, and then they reach out to all of the districts in their counties. So I thought, well, I can help spread the word about the scholarship that PSWC offers. That's pretty easy for me to do. So I volunteered, and I became one of the co-chairs for the scholarship program. And that's how I became involved with the Pastel Society. And I just thought, if I help out with the society, I'm obviously a beginning artist. I don't have anything to offer in terms of that, but I can help out with the strengths that I do have, and then I can get to know more of these artists, and in that way, it'll help me in terms of my art.
That is so cool. So that's pretty much my same story. I have been painting with pastels for several years and didn't feel like I was good enough to join the society, because I only knew, the society here, I knew about their competitions and things, but outside of that, I was like, I'm not good enough to be part of that group. Like, what am I doing? And at one point they sent out an email that they needed a marketing person. And since I work in marketing, I was like, well, I can probably help out with that. So I love the idea that, that you saw a need and you filled that need. And what was the result of that need? Like, you got more involved. And that's part of the reason we wanted to have Pam on today, is to talk about not only her as an artist, but also her involvement with the Pastel Society, especially because Pastel Society of the West Coast, isn't that one of the largest pastel societies?
It is. It's the second largest pastel society in the country, right behind PSA. So they have about 1,000 members. As of yesterday morning, we had 666 members.
Oh, cool.
I'm one of them.
Yay.
Yes, Lisa's one of them.
Yeah.
Kari will be joining soon.
I will be. Yes, I will. Actually, it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, we're the second largest by far. And we're definitely one of the most active. We've got a lot of programs going on. So that's
that's one of the things I want to talk about in a little bit, is all the things that you do. Before we get to that though, can you talk a little bit about, so I know for me, so my experience when I joined the Pastel Society, I'm not antisocial. I get social anxiety when I'm meeting new people. So to do something especially because like no one else I know is a pastel artist near me. So I couldn't go to a group with them. So it was me taking the leap to go do something on my own, which was incredibly scary. And I just met so many wonderful people here at the society, and they were just so inviting. Like, they invited me to a paint out and all of these things, and they're just so wonderful. And it was just such an eye-opening experience for me, because with what I get to do at Streamline, I talk to a lot of artists and a lot of artists in various mediums, but I hadn't really spent a lot of time around a large group of people that all did pastel. Mm-hmm. So when I was finally around that, the conversation changed a little bit, because because pastel is so different than, other mediums like oil and acrylics. And it just sort of had those conversations with people that really understood the medium that you're working in and how it differs. It felt like, it's kind of cliche to say it's like a family, but it really was. I felt very comfortable around these group of strangers, because we all had this one thing in common, and they understood that,
Right.
It's wonderful to have that same language around pastels. Yeah. And whatever medium you're working in, to be able to bounce what you're working on and all of the unique qualities of pastels with everybody else that's doing pastel. It's really cool. So,
and I haven't really interacted with people from other mediums. I know a lot of pastel artists they've worked in watercolor, they've worked in oil. So I can't speak to what it's like to be among artists working in those other communities. But I've heard, and my experience has been with pastel artists, that they're very open to sharing, really supportive of one another, and really open to sharing all of the different kinds of techniques and processes that they use. That's been my experience.
Yeah, same.
Yep. Same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
artists are just so cool.
Yeah. A very open community. Yeah. Very supportive of one another. So that's what I found.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I joined, it was 2019. So I had the opportunity to go to one in-person workshop, before the pandemic hit. And then that was it. So I didn't really know anyone at the workshop. It was an Ellen Picard workshop, and it was
Oh,
down.
Ellen is great.
Yeah, it was down in Morro Bay. I didn't know anybody else in the workshop, and I was so new that I honestly can't tell you that I absorbed very much from that workshop because I had no skill, I had no technique. I mean, I just knew very little.
We're a newborn.
Yeah, exactly. I probably had crappy pastels at the time, and not even good. I didn't even know what I was doing. So, and then after that, it was the pandemic. And then my involvement with PSWC grew. And fast forward, then it's pandemic. And then all of my interaction with pastel artists and the other board members in the society and all of that was all virtual, all online. And now it's 2022 and it's IAPS. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I'm going to IAPS. And
for those listeners who don't know what IAPS is, it's the International Association of Pastel Societies. I like to think of them as like the mother hen to all of the other pastel societies. And they host a pastel convention every 2 years in New Mexico. So that is what we're referring to.
Thank you. I shouldn't assume.
No, that's okay. I didn't think it didn't initially click with me when you first said it. And I was like, oh, wait, yeah, people might not know what that is.
Yeah, good one. So there I am at IAPS. No other board member was able to attend that year. And at that point, I had been talked into, they had noticed, oh, Pam's pretty good at organizing things and getting stuff done. They weren't paying attention to the fact that she's not really an artist yet. So now I'm the vice president. So I'm going to IAPS in 2022 as the new vice president of IAPS.
Wow.
And I'm going to attend the president's forum on behalf of the president who's not able to attend. And I have still to meet any member of PSWC. I've never met any of them in person. I've only met them like this through our Zoom meetings. So I'm walking into IAPS, about to meet my, other than that one workshop, meet pastel artists in person, face to face for the very first time. And I walked into the Albuquerque hotel, and the first person that I see is Eve Miller from the East Coast. Yeah. And I basically just said, hello, you're the first person I've ever met who's a pastel artist. I told my story. Here I am.
I wonder how many other people have a similar story to that just starting out and then just going and meeting and just you're the first one.
So Pam, you said that you were the vice president of IAPS.
Oh, no, vice president of PSWC.
I just wanted to clarify that because I'm like, well, how'd you jump from PSWC to IAPS, which is
did I say that?
Yeah, but I thought you meant PSWC, and I just wanted to clarify because you were going to IAPS as the vice president of PSWC.
Yeah, so, no, sorry, nerves, I guess.
Oh no, I didn't do it without nerves.
No, I'd been talked into becoming the vice president of PSWC.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
So there I am representing PSWC at IAPS, and finally meeting some other pastel artists and meeting some of the wonderful people that I've been seeing online and taking, some online workshops from, and now I get to see some of my heroes in person for the very first time.
That's so cool to experience that for the first time.
Yeah.
So you jumped right in and not knowing anybody, and then you're around all of these pastel societies. All the pastel societies are represented at IAPS. So what did you learn and about the benefits of becoming or being part of a pastel society while you were there, and while you were learning about the whole pastel, the umbrella of IAPS over all of these wonderful pastel societies?
Right. Well, I mean, the first thing is just connecting with the community, just connecting with a community of people like we were talking about who speak your language. Well, a language I was still learning, obviously, as a new painter. So having people to be able to share information with me about the different kinds of pastels, the harder soft pastels versus the softest soft pastels. There's so much out there. There are so many choices out there. You want to, especially as a beginning pastelist, you want to know about, do I necessarily have to buy the most expensive pastels in order to be able to learn how to make good art? Or, do I need to have a variety of softness in the pastels that I'm buying? How many different sets do I need to have? How many pastels do I need to have in my collection at home in order to be able to actually
You need
paint?
all of them.
You need all of that. I was going to say the same thing.
Every single one.
You need all.
Right.
I hadn't thought about that because I haven't been to IAPS yet either. I'm really looking forward to going next year.
Me too.
And I have never thought about it from a beginner's perspective. Like it's a society for society. So everyone who goes must be part of a society, which I mean, they are. But from the beginner perspective of you're just starting out, and I mean, that is an education by fire right there, like learning all of the different things. And I can't even imagine what that expo hall looks like with all of those. Oh, love it. I'm so excited.
All the candy, the pastel.
What kind of paper should I be using?
Right?
Yeah. And and should I be trying to enter shows? When do I know that I'm ready to enter shows? And and what about local art festivals? When should I be trying to do that? Is it worth it for me to enter the county fair? Should I have a website? When do I think about that?
Yeah.
I mean,
so what were your biggest takeaways when just starting out that really spoke to you or answered your questions?
My biggest takeaways, I think the biggest takeaway is that there are a lot of people that are willing to be very helpful in a society. There you can just find so many people willing to answer your questions and offer their perspectives and give you honest feedback if you're looking for it, and give you encouragement. It's one thing, I think, when we start out, you do your little painting and you post it to your Facebook page, and your Facebook page has all of your friends from high school and your family members,
Right.
and everyone thinks you're a brilliant artist. Right? And that feels great. And that's wonderful. That's a good thing. But it's not the same as posting it to the PSWC page and saying, critical
Give me some feedback.
Critical feedback, welcome. And then getting some honest feedback from other artists who have something that is of value to offer about your piece. And it's not just, it's just so wonderful. Aren't you so talented? Which is what your friends from high school say. And it's so sweet, but it doesn't help you move forward in your process of development.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Pam. I had that experience recently. Excuse me. I've been working on this painting and I showed it to my husband and he's like, oh, wow, that's fantastic. Same thing with friends. So good, so good. And it was good. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I impressed myself a little bit with it. But then I showed it to an artist and she's like, well, let me tell you what you're doing wrong. And she meant it in a very nice way. I was making the same mistake over and over again and didn't know it. And so she pointed it out to me and I was like, oh yeah. So even though, like, technically speaking, it looked like a good painting, from the perspective of an artist, there was something that I was missing and that was critical to the painting. And so being able to have that relationship with people in societies and being able to ask for that honest feedback and getting it is really crucial to being able to move yourself forward, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My favorite tools is a critique. A good critique from someone you trust is one of the most powerful tools for elevating your skills to a new level.
Right. And it helps you to develop your own self-critique skills, because that's a muscle you have to really develop. And it's a hard, you don't have it in the beginning. Right. You don't know what you don't know. Right. See,
well, that, and I think I end up being overly critical, that I want it to look a certain way and it doesn't look like that. So I'm much more hard on myself than other people would be. So I love that though. That's so great.
Right. And also,
is that something, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say also, I think it's helpful when you're in a society, people can help you think about what workshops are valuable for you to take and which ones may not be for you right now, because I think some people have a tendency to sign up for every workshop that comes along, but that's not always the most helpful thing for you. You have to know what are you ready to absorb, and then you have to know the timing too. You don't want to be, if you're constantly taking workshops, that's a lot of information to take in, and when do you have time to process that and integrate that into the work that you're doing?
Right. Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Agree.
So we were talking about kind of programs that the PSWC offers. Do you guys offer things like critiques and stuff like that?
We don't have a critique program per se. One of the things that I think that we have been focusing on since I've taken the reins as president, one of my personal focuses is that our society is so large and our shows have become very competitive. So it's a lot of prestige to get into, for example, our 99 Voices show, and our membership show, over the years has developed such that it's divided now into general membership and signature and above, because it's very competitive. And we have a lot of really prestigious award-winning artists that are members of our society. And so, and our shows, like our current show, 99 Voices, is being held at the Hilbert Museum of California Art. That is a really kind of prestigious place to have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my thought was that it's difficult for some of our beginning artists and emerging artists to get into those shows. It's difficult for them to see their work
validated.
Yeah. So some of what I've been trying to do in order to reach a more beginning and emerging artists is find ways for them to see their work acknowledged. And the way that we've been doing that is we've kind of ramped up our challenges. And so we have challenges 4 to 5 times a year, and we have themes around those. And so, we have 10-day challenges 3 times a year. And then like in October, we have a 21-day challenge, but there's a specific theme that's also something that can be educational, right? Go figure. So, maybe one of the challenges of this past year had to do with high key high key paintings. And so there's input first about what is a high key painting, what are some examples of high key paintings from masters, and then folks participate in the challenge of painting every day and practicing creating high key paintings. And then from that, I look at all of the paintings that have been posted. So first of all, people that participate get to see their paintings posted online, and they encourage each other and they give each other feedback. And so, there they get to see their paintings online. But then I also take those paintings and I put them in our magazine that comes out the next time. So we highlight that challenge. We talk about what the theme was. We talk about people's comments about things that they learned from participating in the challenge. And some of those folks see their paintings from the challenge in our magazine. And our magazine is a pretty beautiful magazine. And you don't have to be an award-winning artist or an artist who got into one of our shows to necessarily see one of your paintings in our magazine.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Or you participated in a regional art show and one of our regional reps sent in paintings from that regional show, and now it's in our magazine. So a variety of ways for people who aren't necessarily award-winning artists to also see some of their work highlighted. I think it's encouraging.
To see some of that recognition. Yeah, it really is. That's really cool that you guys do that.
Yeah. So just things like that where we get to see people from all different levels supported and encouraged and acknowledged, kind of across the board.
Right. That's really cool. That's awesome that you guys are trying to reach all of those different levels. So how does your scholarship fit into that too? So is scholarship for high school kids or college kids? Like, how does that work into, because I'm assuming, I know from my experience talking with a lot of pastel societies that a lot of the demographic is retirees because they're the ones that have the time to paint. So how does what you do with challenges and things like that fit into trying to reach a younger demographic?
Well, boy, that's the real challenge. You're right. I mean, if you look at across the board, the pastel societies, the majority of the membership is older women. So yeah, because we've got the time and the pastel materials are expensive.
Right.
So it is a challenge. It's a challenge also in terms of trying to get volunteers for the societies, because we're aging out and it's hard to get younger people in to keep the societies running. The scholarships, we have two different kinds of scholarships. We offer scholarships to high school seniors who are applying to colleges and planning to pursue a career in art, and to college students who are majoring in art and planning to pursue a career in art. That they still have years of college to complete. So we have two. We used to just have one, and it was a smaller scholarship, but now we have two. We offer two, trying to keep ramping it up.
Yeah.
This past year, we offered two scholarships of $2,000 each. And we've had more and more students apply every year, because every year I increase the number of places that we reach out. It was all of the school districts in California. Now we reach out to school districts as well as universities in California, Oregon, Washington, and Nevada. But we also, because we advertise it on Facebook and in our magazine, we've also now have had applications from across the country, as well as we had an applicant from Puerto Rico, and another international applicant. I can't remember exactly from where this past year. So,
Cool.
That
yeah.
is so awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we also have two or three scholarships that we offer to members for workshops.
Oh wow, so that they can attend one of your workshops if the oh that's really cool that you guys do that.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
workshops do you guys host a year?
Well, it varies. I mean, it's kind of the pandemic really had an impact on in-person workshops, obviously.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So everything kind of went to Zoom. And then after the pandemic, it seemed like people really wanted to do in person. But then recent situations in the world and the country have really made it difficult for people to commit to going to in-person ones again.
Mhm.
The financial commitment seems to be
Yeah.
challenging right now. So this past year originally we had a workshop being offered like practically every month. Two of those got canceled, but we had a lot of them.
And
And
those were all in person? Or those are online?
those were in person. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's a lot.
we had quite a few this year, but next year we won't quite have as many in person. It's difficult. That's one of the things I think that's really difficult is for societies is figuring out a way to make it financially feasible to offer in-person workshops, especially when you're flying in the
Right.
artist.
Well, and
So,
also too, like California is such a big state. Like how do you
Where do you
'cause
hold the workshops?
well,
All
yeah, like
in.
where do you hold them and like how do you get people from
right.
all over to come in? Like that's a big commitment.
Mhm.
Well, we had one workshop here where I live in Northern California. I'm about an hour southeast of South Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
So
okay.
Desmond O'Hagan came here, and
Love him too.
Hmm.
his lodging was here in my home,
Mhm.
and that workshop was full, so that was good.
Yeah.
And then we had a workshop that was associated with our Out of Bounds show in Morro Bay, and that workshop was full. And then so that's Central California. And then we had Colette Oja Smith just did a workshop associated with our 99 Voices in Southern California. And then, so we have like one location that we've identified in Northern, one in Central,
Right. To try to
and then
make it feasible for everybody to go.
we've got a location in Redondo Beach that we can use, that we kind of share that location with the folks, our good friends, PSSC in Southern California. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
But
so for those places, because I know like Colorado is big too. We have two societies in Colorado, and even then, like we're so spread out. So
Yeah.
do you have are a lot of your volunteers then like do you have like because you said you have what regional chairs or things like that? Did they kind of manage those events in their own locations?
yeah, and we're doing a little bit more of that. Next year, Kim Lordier is doing a workshop for us, and that's going to be in the,
We all love her.
I know. She's our new regional rep, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But she's doing a workshop for us in the Boise area, and she's going to be out there for the Eagle Plein Air Festival. So
Yeah.
we have a regional rep over there in the Boise area, and she's going to be doing a workshop for us there. So that's kind of like a regional workshop there. So yeah, sometimes it's more of a regional kind of thing. But we have board members I have a board member in Montana, and a board member in Idaho, and I have a board member in Spain.
Oh, cool.
And I have a board member who lives part-time in San Francisco and in Rome and in Hawaii.
Wow.
So our membership meetings and our board meetings are all online because
Yeah.
our board members and our members are across the country and international. So we don't try to have membership or board members in board meetings in person.
Yeah, that would be hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before COVID, and we all know how that affected things. So did you guys switch to a lot of online content during that time? Do you guys do you still do like regular Zoom meetings and all that kind of stuff for demonstrations as well?
Yes, we do. Well, we have our We Talk Art interviews that we've been doing now for,
Yes, which we just learned about their version of a podcast.
yeah, we've been doing that since the winter of December of 23 was the first one. So we've been doing that for a couple years now. We do that every other month with special editions put in between. And those are all Zoom interviews.
Yeah.
Yep. And we already have all of our people lined up for 2026.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we do our general membership meetings, which are really, I just make announcements about upcoming events, and then we go right into the demonstration. And that's also every other month on a Zoom meeting. Yeah. And we've got I think I've got about 5 of those people lined up already for demonstrations for 2026. And that's all online. And then, so for next year, we'll have some in-person workshops, but we're also going to bring back more of the online workshops over Zoom. But we're going to look at making some of those, not have all of them be like all day or a multi-day workshops. We're going to look at breaking it up into different kinds of configurations. Laura Pollock in January is going to do a series of workshops for us on Saturday afternoons in January. So like 4 Saturday afternoon workshops, like from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. Boom, 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 boom. That sounds like something that people might want to be into Saturday afternoon, 4 weekends in a row.
You know, they can commitment. That's nice.
Manage.
Yeah. So we're going to look at kind of a variety of ways of setting up those Zoom workshops into different kinds of schedules that might work for people.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then we talked about you guys do workshops, you do demonstrations, you've got your competitions that you do. And you said there's the 2 competitions, the 99 Voices, and what was the other one?
We have 3 now.
3.
Yeah. So we've got our Moos show, which is online. So members only online show.
Okay. Moos. Clever.
So that's just for members. It's broken up into 2 categories, general membership and then signature and above. No framing, no shipping. It's online.
That's nice.
And yeah, which is really nice. And that's in the beginning of the year. It opens up in December, I think, and then closes in January. So that's early in the year. And then we have our new show that we started last year, but it's going to be annual. And that is our multimedia show. So
is that the one that Kim Lordier just won in?
Mm-hmm.
She won. I think she got did she get a second place?
I can't remember. Yeah. I knew that she had entered it.
I think so.
Terry Ford got first, and she got a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's in Morro Bay. And that is before there was I'm going to forget which. There was one other society that had the Pastel Plus show, and theirs was multimedia too, but it was online. So we thought, there are a lot of pastel artists that like to do more of a multimedia. They do a lot of work that wouldn't qualify for the traditional Pastel Society show. But maybe they'd like to have a place where they can, enter that. And so we wanted to honor that. So this is an in-person show, and it breaks the 80% rule. And it's at.
Can you explain that? Because I actually get a lot of questions from people about, if you want to enter a pastel painting, because a lot of people will do underpaintings in watercolor or gouache. Does that mean it's multimedia, or is that just an underpainting? So can you kind of clarify like what the distinction is?
Sure. if whatever your underpainting is, kind of doesn't matter if in a regular Pastel Society show, if your top layer is at least 80% pastel, then it still qualifies for a Pastel Society show, the traditional, right? But if the top layer is less than 80% pastel, then it's not eligible for your traditional Pastel Society show. IAPS says it's not eligible. PSA says it's not eligible. We say it's not eligible. All of the regular Pastel Society shows, the top layer is supposed to be 80% dry or soft pastel.
Mm-hmm.
This in-person show, it's the only Pastel Society show, in person, physical show, that you can break that 80% rule. In fact, our rule is that it's supposed to be only 30 to 50% pastel in the final layer. So it really has to be multimedia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. What kind of so I'm still kind of beginner. I've never mixed anything with pastel. So what kind of paintings, like what kind of media are people using in that form?
Yeah. So the one that Kim submitted was oil and pastel, the top layer. Some people do collage and pastel. Some people can do something as simple as doing their watercolor underpainting and then doing pastel, but leaving much more of the underpainting, the watercolor
Visible.
underpainting exposed. Right.
Oh, that's so cool.
Gouache and pastel. Acrylic. A lot of people, some people turned in pieces that had used ink, walnut ink or India ink and pastel, or some people had pieces that had 4 or 5 different kinds of things combined on a piece. And then you can look at people like Kelly Malukas,
I'm not
and
familiar
other.
with her.
Oh gosh, you've got to look her up.
Oh, I will. Write that down.
Yeah. And people like that do cold wax and what do you call the other now I'm going to forget.
Caustic or
yes.
Oh, it is. Oh,
And
Kari.
Good girl. In caustic and pastel or cold wax and things like that, where you don't even have to frame, all of that eligible.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. I'm going to have to check that out. That's really neat. I love it. I love exploring and experimenting. I've tried creating my own surfaces and painted on a bunch of different types of surfaces, which I think is cool because like if you can get it to a point where like you can prep it with gesso or something like that, you can paint on anything. I mean, obviously you would still have to frame it since it's pastel, but I think that's really cool that you guys are opening those boundaries a little bit more.
Yeah. Right. And for this upcoming show in 2026, the judge is going to be Dawn Emerson. And
nice.
Yeah, it's perfect for her. And she's going to do 2 back-to-back workshops at Morro Bay because they've got the workshop room there. And the workshops will be multimedia, the kind of stuff that she likes to do.
So kind of like teaching the workshops and then it leads into the competition?
Well, it'll be the competition. The show will already be up.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. But she'll be teaching it alongside the show. That's cool. Yeah. So that should be really awesome. That'll be a lot of fun. And then the third show is the 99 Voices. Yeah. And that's just a traditional pastel?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow, you guys do so much. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think there was something else I was going to ask you, and I can't remember.
We also started this year with a guest blog.
So what does that entail? You just invite not random, but like you invite artists to just submit, say random, but I mean just like, it's not curated. It's just like, hey, so-and-so, you want to write a blog for us?
Yeah, ahead of time. So right now I'll be working on it now for 2026. I look for artists that I I can see that they've written blogs before, or they've done some writing before. So I know they've got, they're good writers. and
They've got the necessary skills.
We've got a guest blog, and would you like to do the blog for August of 2026? And I sign them all up ahead of time. And then when that month rolls around, then we feature their blog, their post on our blog, so that we always have new content rolling up on there. It's worked out really great.
That's awesome. You are doing such a wonderful job over there. I think your background in education really helps you with that.
Thanks.
I love all the ideas that keep coming forward with your creativity and your connections. And I think that's wonderful that you're like how much you have included in what Pastel Society of West Coast offers so many artists, besides pastel artists, but multimedia artists. So that's pretty wonderful.
We're having fun.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of fun. And then we've got our magazine, our beautiful magazine.
Yeah. And is that, you mentioned that before, is that print or is that digital?
It's print.
Oh, is it? I didn't see. There's so many things I didn't know. I got to sign up.
Yeah, it's great publication. Really
It really is.
Wow, look at that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Here's the most recent. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful publication.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That is, you guys are doing so many things. And so one thing I did want to touch on, because like I said, I talked to a lot of pastel societies, and like you said, their biggest challenge is getting volunteers. And yes, aging out is a problem, but I wonder too if people get a little bit scared by the time commitment. Is there a lot of time involved with, I mean, for you, it seems like it's almost a full-time job, but for every need that a society has, do you think it's a big time commitment, or is it something that like it kind of varies?
Well, I think that what I've tried to do is break it down into smaller jobs. Mm-hmm. So, we have the We Talk Art, the person who does the interviews, she's doing those interviews. Now that person actually does a couple of other things. She's our secretary, and, and she's the co-chair of the, with me, of the multimedia show too. But she wants to do those couple of jobs. But if you're looking at it could be a standalone.
What does it take to be a regional rep? Like, what's the time commitment to be a regional rep, and what does the regional rep do?
The regional rep job is really people doing what they would be doing anyway. So that one's pretty good, because we're not asking for any set amount of activities. Let's just say you're already somebody who likes to go out and do plein air painting so many, during the year. Okay. Do you like to have friends go with you? Excellent. We're asking you to let us know when you're planning to go out and do some plein air painting 3 times a year. Let us know. And then let us help you invite some friends to join you. So,
Okay. So you're just kind of turning what you would normally do into like a little mini event for the society.
Yeah. Give us the details of where you're going to go several times a year, where people can meet up with you. Send us a couple of pictures of where you're going to be. We're going to help you advertise it. And now it's a paint out. Oh, you're going to do a paint. You're going to go to a certain place to see, you're going to go to a museum to see a pastel show that's going to be happening or whatever. Oh, tell us about that, and we'll invite some friends to go with you. We'll let people know, oh, you're going to do a critique. That could be, it's a variety of activities that could be included, but let's just say, 3, 4 times a year, invite people to join you in some activity like that.
Yeah.
That you enjoy doing. Oh, now you're a regional rep.
That's really cool. That makes it, feel like that takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Yeah.
It really is a low pressure job.
Yeah. Do you join the board meetings as a regional rep?
No, not required to join the board meetings. I send you a bunch of swag. You get to share it with people. Buttons and pens and magazines. And you can invite people that are not PSWC members to join you in these activities. We don't care. That's fine. Yeah.
It's really cool. That's awesome.
It's just another way for people to feel like they have a personal connection, right?
Right.
It's a way to have people be able to, feel like there's a bit more of a community.
Creating.
That is, yeah.
So Pam, I was going to ask you, so you mentioned regular membership and then signature membership. Can you kind of talk about what the difference is in that? Like, is there requirements, or is it just where you are in your journey with art? What does that look like?
Yeah, one of the benefits of membership in our society is that we have these status levels, like a lot of societies do. So to be a signature member, you earn points towards signature membership. So there's a couple ways to do it. An example would be that you get accepted into, I hope I'll remember, don't quote me, but let's say you're accepted into 3 of the Pastels USA shows. So now you have 3 points and you become a signature member. That may not be the right number. I don't remember exactly. Or you're accepted into 3 Pastels USA shows and you get an award in a Moos show. Now you're a signature member. After you're a signature member, then you get 3 awards in a Pastels USA show within 5 years. Now you're whatever's the next distinguished pastelist, like that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, levels of status levels. So you can use the initials after your name, then you can use DP, distinguished pastelist, after your name, and on up to our highest level, which there are only, I forget, maybe 11 people or something ever since 19 whatever year we were established, 84, and that the highest level is Pastel Laureate.
Very cool. And do those kind of help? Because I know the IAPS does similar, like you have different levels there too. Does what people get within your membership apply to what they get with IAPS as well, or are those separate?
They're all separate. Yeah, that's the same
Gotcha.
for all the societies. They're all separate. Yeah.
Very cool. This has been a very enlightening conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are kind of a beacon of light right now with all that you guys are doing with education, all the different things you're offering. Like, I feel like that's a lot of information that these other societies could really use. And not that they're not doing enough. And I don't mean it in that way. I just mean there's so many opportunities for artists. And I feel like a lot of it comes back to needing more volunteers and obviously getting the people in there to do the work, because it takes work to do these kinds of things. But I think it's such a goal, is what I was trying to say, is like it's a really goal to try to move towards, is trying to offer a lot of the things that you guys are offering and being able to do those things. That's really cool.
You could be a mentor for other societies.
There you go. Society mentor. Love it.
Yeah, because you're doing so much that probably a lot of societies would, pastel societies would love to implement. So it's something to look for, how to go forward in the future, like some of implementing those things and bringing those into their repertoire and their, how they're conducting their societies. But it's really amazing what you guys offer, and it's great to be part of.
Well, I'd like to say just 2 things more. One is that I have often thought about, and probably will and would love to, connect a little more with the presidents of the other societies. In order to share, but also because I think there are things that other societies do that I could definitely benefit from hearing about. Yeah. It would be reciprocal for sure.
Right.
So I think that would be a great opportunity for everyone.
Yeah. To really build that community.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that I think that there are real benefits to volunteering. Not just, I think it would benefit me if somebody would volunteer to help us, for sure.
Right.
Because right now I'm doing 3 of the jobs, but I also think that there's just a real benefit to the person who volunteers. I can say that from experience because you really do gain from volunteering. You gain, relationships that matter and that contribute to your development as an artist. I really do believe that. And I think
you're contributing to like something that you're passionate about anyway. And so you feel like you're part of, moving forward with getting the word out, and it feels good. It feels good to volunteer.
Yeah. I mean, I think it has helped me in terms of my own development as an artist, but I also feel like I'm contributing to the society, but also I know for a fact that volunteering and contributing to the society is contributing to the pastel community as a whole. Because every time one of our societies continues to develop, the pastel community as a whole, it benefits.
Yes.
Yep.
Art makes people happy, and we need more happy people in this world. So we got to keep it going.
Don't we though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contributions, by the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for everything that you do and everything you're going to continue to do for the pastel community. And, Lisa, everything you do with teaching and workshops and all of that stuff. So
we're passionate.
I love our little pastel community.
Me too. What kind of shows do you have coming up for that you want to tell, or what would you like people listening and watching today know about what's coming up with Pastel Society of the West Coast?
Well, 2026 is coming up.
Very quickly.
Our show, our 99 Voices is happening right now at the Hilbert, and it's going to be going on until the end of November. So anybody who is within striking range and can go see that show should. It is a gorgeous show. Yeah.
I live close there, so.
Yeah, you need to go see it. It's so beautiful.
I sure do.
Yeah. So I would say that. And then 2026 is the year of the fire horse. And the fire horse is symbolic for change and embracing change, ladies.
Very cool. I like that.
Yeah. So there are going to be some, we're going to be doing some rocking and rolling in 2026. There will be some changes coming to PSWC, and we're pretty excited about what we've got coming up. So I would just say, our website has lots of information about what's going on with PSWC.
It does. You guys have curated a lot of great things.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. We've got good archives. So a lot of the interviews and the demonstrations and every one of our past magazines are available to view digitally on our website currently. There may be changes where some parts of the website may become accessible to members only. So you might want to go look now.
Or become a member, because there's a lot of benefits to becoming a member.
There are a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking at making sure that we are clear on what benefits are available to our members, because we've got a really great, loyal membership, and we want to make sure that we're honoring them. Yep.
Great.
That's great. Well, thank you, Pam. Thank you so much for your time. This was, again, a great conversation. I hope all the societies listening to it. I hope all of these artists listen to it and join their societies and just become part of this ever-growing community. And we got to move this pastel movement further. I just love it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the opportunity, Kari.
This is going to be available for people to watch and re-listen to on the platforms that support this particular podcast. So there are going to be a lot of people that, you know, we need to reach out to so that they can hear all about Pastel Society of the West Coast and what you offer and how to get involved. So
yeah,
Yes.
volunteer somewhere, folks. Volunteer.
Volunteer. It's not only good for them, it's good for you and your soul. So
it's good for you.
volunteer. It is good for your soul. Makes you a better person. So thank you everyone for listening. Don't forget that you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can also find us at thepastelpodcast.com. And we hope that you guys will keep listening and stay vibrant.
Thanks, Pam. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thanks.